Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. We're doing some Eden runs. You know why? Eden runs are fun. Full stop. My goal for this episode, whoa, we got Lord of the Pit. And great stats early. I'm not even going to go over them. 6x, the number of the beast, kinda. XL, 6C, XH, take the pill, it's a power pill. As I recall, it was a power pill. Not super pleased about that damage, but I'm very, very happy with the way this run starts. The ability to fly, combined with above average DPS. If you ask for more than that out of an Eden run, you gotta check yourself. That's a great start. Now we have to worry. Admittedly, we have to worry. Now we don't. Now that we've gotten the Tinted Rock, which thankfully contained 2 Spirit Hearts, we have, like, literally nothing to worry about. What I was gonna say is we can't use the Metronome, because if we use the Metronome, it could be Kamikaze and it could put us on death's door. Now that we got a little bit of HP, we can afford to be a little bit riskier with it and actually use the Metronome for what it's, you know, good for. And of course, you know, you can play, it's not really Devil's Advocate, but, you know, you could get Book of Revelations, you could get Satanic Bible. There's probably more, I mean, there's definitely more items that stand to heal you than stand to hurt you. Wow! That being said, you know, do you really want to take that chance on a, you know, the very first floor of this run when it could put you in a really dicey spot? I wouldn't. Taking 2 hits there is actually like my greatest shame. This doesn't save us a key, but that's okay. If you're not familiar with Metronome, you're forgiven, because I don't really take it that much. I much prefer, you know, to know what an item is going to do. But Metronome, it gives you a passive, well, not necessarily a passive. It gives you the effect of an item for the room that you're on. So, you know, sometimes, as you saw, that's going to be Decoy. It was Gigafart once. I mean, you can see what the item is when we use it. This time, it's Mongo Baby, for example. Does it tend to be good? It probably tends to be good. But it also tends, in my experience, at least the way I play, it tends to get replaced pretty early with something that gives you a static effect that you know and like. Now, it's alright. I really think, I love Acid Baby in like the most intellectual way that I can muster, because it gives you just a little bit of extra incentive to take the pills. Let's be honest, it's a luck down pill, right? I'm not super pleased with it, but let's be honest times 2, I was gonna take it anyway. Even when I don't have Acid Baby, I end up taking the pills. So at least we can get something of value out of our negative pills. And we can learn what all these pills do without being overly cautious. Now, ooh, that's horrible. I'll level with you. If you want to be a top tier Isaac player, oh my god, I'm taking a lot of damage here. If you want to be a top tier Isaac player, stop taking pills. It's one of those situations, you know the expression, you know, those who can't do, teach? I kind of understand, I mean, I always understood it. It's kind of just meant to be insulting to the teacher. But it's another expression I actually don't like. First off, it's very insulting to your educators of your country. Secondarily, what do you mean those who can't do, teach, you know? Like, what if I'm a history teacher? What, I couldn't hack it as a historian? It's the same, you're either sitting in a library or you're sitting in a classroom, you know? It's, anyway, maybe that's an overly reductionist view of what historians do. But you understand my point to some extent. First off, it's just insulting, don't say it. Let's see if we can get some coins here. But I kind of understand. Excuse me? And also, please don't at me about my performance on this floor. I'm aware of its badness. Because, like, I know what you need to do to be good in Isaac. I'm just unwilling to do it. It's pretty much what it comes down to. It's like, hey, if you want to... Pills on an average run are not going to screw you. On some runs, they will screw you to the point where you will lose. You know, one badly timed bad trip pill, you lose. One badly timed speed down, tears down, etc., etc. I'm excited even. Amnesia, perhaps. You know, there's a lot of things that can go wrong there, is what I'm trying to get at. But You know, if you want to build like a triple-digit streak, you should probably stop taking them, and maybe I will at some point in my life. But for now, I like them. I like them because I don't know what they have. It's like a little serotonin hit. Now, I am bad, so I'm definitely going to take Caneby and Conception. I'm going to follow it up with Book of the Dead, straight up. I think that Book of the Dead is a wonderful item. I liked having the metronome, don't get me wrong. We got some interesting stuff out of that. Book of the Dead is so good. Let's be honest, right? Who doesn't like Book of the Dead? Raise your hand. I would love to hear a reason why. I think this is one of the best items they've ever made in this game. At least, like, one of the best items they've made, like, for booster packs. Infested. And I mean that sincerely. It's a book, so it plays in with all the book synergies. It's not necessarily overpowered, and it does different things as the game progresses. You know, it's not always just like some books in the game, I love them, but like, look at Satanic Bible. Press space, farts out a demon heart. Book of the Dead is like, it requires a little bit of strategy to use. You don't necessarily always want to just pop it, like I'm about to, on a room where it gets a charge. You know, there's room for both of those kind of items to exist in the game, but Book of the Dead actually inspires a little bit of strategic play and thought, which I like a lot. On top of that, it's just good. You know, it makes your run a lot better most of the time. So I am going to blow up this Tinted Rock. I do want to get the stone chest back there at some point, but because I'm not playing very well, our HP is a little precious, so I do appreciate that opportunity there. Here, I'm going to take Sackboy, but I'm also going to level with you. We need to buy, and Lord knows, you know, if we're even going to have the opportunity. But we need to buy Stopwatch and Broken Stopwatch. So if I ever see one of those in the shop, we're probably going to prioritize it. Even though historically, like, Stopwatch is great, Broken Stopwatch, I mean, Stopwatch is better than great. Broken Stopwatch is like, I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily consider it a top tier choice. It's probably a secret room, but I was just going to say, if we get a bomb, thank you for the luck upgrade. If we get a bomb, we're likely to use it back here. So, check this out. I am going to Galaxy Brain this. No, I'm not. I was going to use Addicted, because I was like, well, if I use Addicted, we get poison on the enemies. Yeah, but if you get hit twice, you're one hit away from death. So I'm glad we didn't do that. We're going to clear the whole room before we use Book of the Dead. And there's trade-offs there. It could be better to get the 2 extra charges instead. It seems pretty nice, though. Yeah, we'll just keep moving on, because I'm a sucker, like I said. Fudged up in the head, not. Probably, like, every bone in my body is telling me... Please? It was telling me, like, buy the Spirit Heart, but I was like, I have 2.5. I don't need them. I'll probably never get hit again. Please don't walk on the spikes. Ooh! They might have done it. The sun. So I'm just trying to stack up an incredible familiar army. I was hoping we'd get another battery charge there. Please don't kill my familiars. They're very dear to me. This run is great. I would absolutely love... You know, I'm coming off of that last daily. And that last daily was not particularly good. I'm not saying you owe me anything. But if you want to make up for... Thanks. If you want to make up for... you know, perceived inequity or what have you, it would be lovely to get a Deal with the Devil 9 lives right here. I'm not asking the world. If I'd only maintained a little bit more HP, the run could have been totally ruined by me taking Mom's Knife, and making things way too easy. So I'm glad that, I mean, I'm glad for entertainment's. I'm glad for your sake. For my sake, I'm despondent. But this is nice. I like a run that's strong, but doesn't allow us to just, you know, tap out. It's a cool situation. It's a cool situation. Coast to coast, LA to Chicago. Western Mail. Down south all the way to Key Largo, baby. Love for sale. You might think, like, you know, I've infected you with that earworm. I'm just passing it on, man. It was given to me at karaoke. To be honest with you, coast to coast LA to Chicago hasn't been stuck in my head that much lately. But still, I have the karaoke of the dude singing Story of My Life by One Direction. Story of my life, I take her home, drive all night to keep her warm in time. It's freaking fro, only he didn't say freaking. And then this incredibly inebriated lady in the back going, the story of the story of the story of. All-time great memories. Unfortunately, also an earworm to last a lifetime. Yo, yes, I think this is one of those situations where we would probably say that bucket of lard is probably good. Bucket of fat, bucket of lard. Sounds like Particle Man was meant to be Bob Dylan. Buckets of speed down in my head. That's a little better. It's at least, it starts to become slightly evocative. You got other health than any baby I can stand. I don't have a great Bob Dylan impression, for sure. And I respect Bob Dylan as an artist. Simultaneously, worst concert I've ever been to. But what did I expect? I went to a concert for a man in his 80s. Kind of phoned it in. He's probably tired. I would be. The way that I do my Bob Dylan impression is very simple. Just pretend you're a bee, like you're making a buzzing sound, but you can also talk. So once upon a time, you dressed so fine. You got the pollen from the flower on the vine, didn't you? See, that's B. Dylan. Can't all be winners. We can afford a little Catacombs Pandora's Box action. Not necessarily an enormous gain, but, you know, it's the thought that counts. Compost is kind of interesting here. Not interesting enough to take, just interesting enough to remark upon. Oh, okay, so this is actually what I was hoping for. It would have been nice if it happened like a penny earlier, but... Oh, baby. Thank you. And thank you again. And, you know, like, honestly, thank you again. Why pop addicted? Well, I pop addicted for a very... popped addicted, I should say, for a very simple reason. I wanted the poison. So Broken Watch means that if we get regular stopwatch, we get an unlock. Which is, I don't know if it's necessary for Platinum God. You know, we got Platinum God on our first save file, or our second save file, I should say, without getting absolutely everything. I don't know how it works, to be honest. But we'll be on the lookout for it, no question about that. Depths 1. Feels weird to be ahead of schedule on a run. What's up with that? Still absolutely could use an upgrade for our damage. But apart from that, the run, I mean, is good. Could use a little gas. Most important thing, I mean, this is like a fair trade for Are You a Wizard? The most important thing is, remember if you get an actual question mark pill, because that's the secret one. Yo, that was a dime. Top of the line. Don't remember the lyrics. Mostly was listening to a lot of Will Smith's Big Willie style at that point in my life. When that song came out. Now, I'm excited we will not pop under, like, any circumstances. I don't mind getting these guys trapped on the pits wherever possible. Could you just not all jump in sequence? Like, it makes it a little harder to keep track. Finally, my brain has, like, a dedicated lobe. Took about a year for me to actually start doing okay against those guys. Now that we're there, you know, they're not so bad, but still. Forcing the Wernicke's area to do a little bit of bonus time on the seduction line. Okay, one of our... Oh, you just threw your orbitals away. Actually, you know what? I don't really care. I'd prefer not to lose them, but... Oh, well. Oh, dude. I don't really care about the Book of the Dead orbitals. If I can get in there and do some damage with Cube of Meat, I'm gonna do it. Ball of bandages, whatever. Wow. Missed our deal with the devil chance. Why on earth would I take 7 seals? Well, I take 7 seals for a couple of reasons. One is, if you pay attention to 7 seals, it is plausible to not get hit or not get hit much by Locust of War. The only way to get better with it is to practice with it. So Humbling Bundle is obviously the best here. However, I'm taking a stab at trying to get regular stopwatch, which I hope has been unlocked, but now that I think about it, I'm like, I don't know. Obviously, again, you know, like 9 volt would be good, but we probably don't need it to win, so I'm being a little bit more aggressive, pursuing, like, the items that would give us an unlock, and we're not going to get it there. So, in hindsight, I really wish I'd probably gone for Diplopia, but... And we would have just used Diplopia to get double the shop contents on a reroll, but... Oh well. Still have one more floor. Cycling through a lot of items there. The other thing is, the item, it's fun, you know? Why not take it? Oh, absolutely. Monstro's Lung actually is a huge help. You know, I forgot we had Dark Bomb. So we haven't seen that many red hearts. Or maybe we have, and that's why our HP is good now, and you've been singing Coast to Coast, LA to Chicago over and over, so you weren't really paying attention. He's a smooth operator. Smooth operator. Well, at least we know. Yeah, I mean, we didn't do anything on that floor, but sure, give me something. What I was going to say is Monstro's Lung is a really nice help for us. Our rate of fire was great. Our damage was a little subpar. Monstro's Lung irons that out. Our rate of fire stays, I mean, proportionally very high. Only now, we have, let's go. We have way more ability to kill enemies in a single hit. And that's really, like, the most important element of damage. Like, if you're able to kill enemies in a single hit, your time to kill on enemies. Let's be a little bit more specific. You know, I try to crystallize it sometimes in these Isaac runs. It doesn't always come to pass. I'm always talking about damage. Damage is mostly... Shouldn't have left. Damage is mostly relevant because the faster you kill enemies, the more likely they are to never hit you. We're going to be super aggro here. And I'll tell you why. One reason is obvious. I want the item. Another reason is we have Cambion Conception. So the faster we can increment that, the happier I am. A little speedy. Absolutely want to peep the shop. Wow, just trading the same pills back and forth. So, sadly, no... Dude, the luck upgrades from pennies have been absurd this run. Thank you so much. Obviously, we're not getting any stopwatch action there, but that could still happen if we choose to go to the Hush fight. Am I insane? No. So I'm probably not going to go to the Hush fight just to have a chance to get broken stopwatch. But if the run is good enough to make the Hush fight work, why not, you know, go down there and try to give it a chance, right? Why not Ghoul and Dan there? So for now, don't get your hopes up. I mean, no, people are probably like, please no, don't fight the Hush. We watched it like 30 times over the past 45 days. I'm sick of it. Well, yeah, me too, but I never had a choice. Well, you could just play the game the way you want. No, people always do that, and I gotta level with you, okay? It's rare for you to find a Twitch streamer who cares less about backseating than me, but you gotta accept, and I accept my role in this as well. I've created a culture where backseating is so acceptable that people backseat like literally every element of not just the gameplay, but my life. So sometimes I'll complain about something in a game and people will be like, he's complaining, but doesn't he realize he could just turn off the game and play something he enjoys? Well, let me give you a little inside secret. You know, on any given video, stream, etc., tasked with, you know, filling hours, potentially, of dead air. You know, by giving you a stream of consciousness dialogue about my thoughts. Sometimes I'm going to say things that just pop off the top of my head. Doesn't necessarily mean just because I have one complaint with something that I don't like something. And then, even now, I can see the gears start turning. And the people are like, well, not everybody in chat says that. You don't realize that's also a little bit of a real-life backseat in and of itself. I know. You know, it's anytime... You gotta... I read something, and actually, this resonated with me a lot, even though it doesn't necessarily apply to me. It was somebody on Twitter... Oh, 1 second. I'm running over my own sweater. It was somebody on Twitter, and they were like... You know, people in... high school that do debate class, and I'm gonna paraphrase because I think what the original tweet was mean-spirited, but you gotta recognize, you know, just because you know how to debate, that doesn't mean that every conversation in real life has to adhere to the rules of a debate, okay? When people converse, which is at least what I consider part of the, you know, stream to be, it's a sharing of ideas. It's not meant always, unless invited, to be a crucible of like, hold on. Yeah, I think we'll still do it like this. It's not meant to be a crucible of like, you know, well, you've said an idea, now I'm gonna put it up to the harshest scrutiny and try to defeat you with rhetoric and call out your logical fallacies and blah, blah, blah. Now, sure. Sometimes, I'll admit, I get baited by that stuff, but I do think there are some people out there who take pretty much any bit of dialogue as like out of context to try to not make a fight, but just to prove intellectual superiority. You'll be like, oh, I'm getting a little sick of playing Call of Duty. And they go, I see that he's getting sick of Call of Duty, and yet he's made no effort to play with a different weapon apart from the MOG. How interesting. It's like, all right, you got me. What's your point? Here's the thing. There's kind of an implicit underpinning, I think, in each one of these debates, which is, if you're so smart, why aren't you debating like Steven Pinker instead of somebody who doesn't even want to debate you? you're wasting your time yelling at a dude, not yelling, but just being pedantic at a dude who, like, you know, plays video games for his existence instead of somebody who's dedicated themselves to the pursuit of academia and pure knowledge, you know? You're doing yourself a disservice if you have the rhetorical skills that you seem to think you do. You should be putting them on stage. Instead, it's just like, I had a sandwich for lunch. Don't you know how that's going to screw up your macronutrient balance for days? Aren't you afraid of insulin sensitivity? It's not like that, you know? And again, I brought this up a few times in the past, but I'm telling you, because if you're at that age where, you know, you're figuring out, you don't realize it, you know, if you're 16, 17 right now, or, you know, I mean, even younger and even older, but I'm going to use that age as a marker here, and you can debate it if you want to, but it would be a little tone deaf. If you're at that age where you're kind of like crystallizing how you're going to talk to people for like the rest of your life. That's why I talk to people very condescendingly. I read too much online snobby media at that age, and now I try to get back from it, and it's hard. So it's easier to just build that good habits right now, is what I'm trying to say. Try to get out of the habit of debating people that don't want to be debated. You know, if somebody posts some ignorant stuff on social media, sure, hop in and be like, that's a reductio ad fallacium. Fair enough. But if somebody's like, I had a bad day. Oh, did you have a bad day? You know who had a bad day? Tycho Brahe. So what did you do on your day? Did your kidneys and bladder explode from holding in urine? Oh, your boss just yelled at you. Well, you should know that we live in the best time in human history for standard of living, and then on top of that, you know, it's you were born in one of the countries that has the highest standard of living in human history, and then on top of that, you're college educated. You get the idea. You know, just be normal. Stop talking to people like a weirdo. It's different on Twitch. I have to accept it because I signed up for it. And sometimes it leads to good discussions with chat, but sometimes you just want to like say something and not have 5,000 people who should be doing their English essay be like, I'm dedicating the rhetorical skills that Miss Yarn taught me to pointing out logical fallacies in your own discussion of, like, whether mozzarella cheese is worse than cheddar. I'm just telling you from the perspective of somebody who has to deal with it all the time. Don't shoot the messenger. Okay, I mean, I will sack 2 familiars. We got a Whore of Babylon and Black Powder. And I was gonna say, Whore of Babylon should be activated immediately. I'm not gonna fight Hush on this run, that's okay. HP's looking good, everything's fine here. It's just the constant debate. It becomes tiring. Now, the alternative, the only other way I've seen streamers deal with it, is if you ever question their opinions on anything, they time you out. I'm not really that sort of guy. It has changed the way that I interact in my friends' chats, though. For real. Is this dude really gonna do an anecdote about how he talks in other people's video game chats? Yeah, it is. But now, like, whenever I give advice to people in a game, first off, I give them a lot of time to figure it out for themselves. Because I realize a lot of the spirit of backseating is trying to help. But also a little bit of it is, check out how smart I am. And I recognize, I was watching Mathis play Hitman 2, and he was having some problems finding an objective. And I went, in my head I was like, I know how to find that objective. But I was like, you know, I'm just gonna hang back. Maybe he finds it enjoyable to walk around. Then he walked around for like 10 minutes, and the way I phrased it was like so apologetic in advance. I was like, just so you know, and you probably already know this, and have decided against it. However, if you turn on, or if you start following the mission story in your back menu, it will put an indicator on your HUD, which will tell you where you need to go. He said, thank you, I already know that, and then he timed me out for 600 seconds. No, he didn't. He said, yeah, I know, but I just wanted to see if I could figure it out for myself. And I said, cool. Justice. And I thought that was okay. I thought that was a good interaction. I'm finally learning how to interact with other human beings, I guess. What I should have said was, not like this. That's the emote or the facepalm. Not like this. If only someone had told you how to find the options. If only they programmed a way in the game for you to figure out where things are, lol. Just walk, forehead. Trying to bring a new level of civility to at least a text-based chat platform of Twitch.tv. Successfully or unsuccessfully, I can't speak to that so far. Dude, this has been a good run and a fast run. So I'm going to hit you with something that's going to surprise you. I'm going to take Thunder Thighs. I think I have already taken Thunder Thighs, but I can't say for certain. It's an item I say no to quite a lot. Lux. Give me some smoked salmon, aka Lux upgrades. None. That's still okay, I mean. So I took Thunder Thighs to try to knock out completion. And we're going to have to make more decisions like that in the future, in all likelihood, just to make sure we're getting every available opportunity. Like, if your run's already good, you take the worst item that you maybe have never gotten before. And it's very useful to note, actually, on Deals with the Devil as well. Probably should have been a little bit more aggro on taking the Deals with the Devil back there that we didn't necessarily like that much. Anyway, don't take this as complaining. It's just, I noticed it yesterday as well. You gotta understand, I know chat, and you're not just one person, you're multiple people, you're 55-year-olds chopping vegetables for dinner while you watch and you're not talking, and you're, 13-year-olds who just got off from school, and everybody's welcome, as far as I'm concerned. It's not that any person in chat is more valuable than anybody else, except, of course, our Twitch Prime subscribers, but anyway, haha, is he kidding? You gotta accept, like yesterday, I'm not trying to throw my friend Bear Taffy under the bus, but he got quiet for a little bit during Quiplash, and you gotta understand, I know, like, maybe people out there don't care. I've had it happen to me. I've been tilted on stream before, and you get a little quiet, because, I mean, there's a couple reasons. One of them is, when you're tilted, you're like, I don't want to say upset, but it interrupts the part of your brain that's like, I want to be entertaining right now simultaneously. But you just need a couple of minutes to just be like, it's a game. You get over it. You realize the absurdity of the situation, you start talking again. What makes the situation 10 times worse, and this is what happened yesterday, is that everybody in chat started, well, not everybody, a lot of people in chat, which in this case amounts to maybe hundreds of people, were going, is Bear muted? Why is Bear quiet? Rip Bear, Rip Bear. It draws attention to it, and it's like embarrassing. I'm sure, like, I don't know if he was embarrassed, I can't speak for him. But, you know, having been in that same position yourself, you're like, man, now I'm tilted, and everybody knows that I'm tilted. And then there's always, like, some people in chat even escalate it beyond that point and go like, oh, lol, imagine getting tilted over, like, something as silly as blah, blah, blah. It's not really that. It's just an exacerbation of the issue, you know? Like, as human beings, we have emotions. Sometimes they're rational, sometimes they're irrational. But the way you deal with them rationally is you're like, okay, I'm upset, and now I'm going to take 2 minutes and not talk so much, and I'll start to get over it. It's way worse when, like, and this is just the nature of, like, living, you know, having these live conversations online. It's way worse when, like, thousands of people are trying to, you know, make it worse by dissecting it. But I guess you can't have your cake and eat it, too. You know, you want the attention of the viewers in the first place because it, you know, is flattering and pays the bills, but then when things go a little wonky, you know, you want to be like, privacy, please? But, like, privacy, please? Anyway. Same thing happened, like, and this is not meant to be a gripe at Twitch chat. I'm just illustrating things that maybe people have not thought about. Yesterday we were playing NBA Playgrounds. There were only 3 of us because Rob's internet went out. I had asked Bear to fill in as the 4th and hadn't gotten a return message in time. So everyone in chat started spamming, like, invite Corey, Corey's here, invite Corey. It puts me in an awkward spot. I can't really just tell Corey to join because I already invited my friend Bear Taffy, and what ended up happening is that he joined up, you know, like 40 minutes into the segment. You know, we got a plan for these things in the past. So what am I supposed to, you know, do? Like, publicly, I'm supposed to be like, I can't invite Corey. Maybe Bear will show up. It makes me look like a dick. So instead, I just kind of ignore it, and then people are like, man, I hate when NL doesn't read chat. And I'm like, I've been reading chat. It's just, you're putting me in an uncomfortable situation. Anyway, we got a little gripey towards the end of that episode, but that's because it was a fun episode and our mind wandered. I'm not in a bad spot. I'm talking about what's on the top of my mind from yesterday. But anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. And of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching. Follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Northernlion, so that you can talk in chat and I can hate you, apparently. No, that's not what I'm getting at. Unsubscribe for that burp. Just kidding, please don't. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. You get the rest of the idea. I'll see you later with another Isaac episode. See ya!